So I have a pretty basic setup here, a label, a button, and what we're going to do is talk about arrays within Xcode and Swift. Hopefully you've been reading along with the textbook and the assigned readings and you understand what arrays are, but basically you can think of an array as a collection of data. So it's kind of like your database that you can pull from, you can add to. There's all sorts of really great functions that work with arrays by default that let you do really complicated things. So in this case, I'm going to just quickly write an array that's going to have a bunch of different pieces of text, and every time we press this button, we'll have this label randomized to equal one of those pieces of text. All right, so let's do let. It's a constant, so I don't really care about what that. It doesn't need to be a var or a var. So let's do let new array, and I'm going to declare it as the type of string, and this says, hey, this is an array that's strings. I could also just say new array equals and start writing string 1, string 2, string 3, and so on and so forth. Let's actually change some of these. So let's say the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So right now we have a new array. It's an array of strings. In fact, if I just inspect it with that option key and click, see, it's an array of strings, and we have 5 different items. We have the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. I know that I put the there, and I don't really care too much, so I'm just going to leave it. And basically, these all have an index value, and an index value just tells us what order these are in. So this right now has an index value of 0. So this is in the first slot or the 0 slot. We start counting at 0 here, and then we move to 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's great is that we're able to call that just by using those numbers rather than pulling the direct strings. So we can save a ton of time by creating a sort of large database of values that we can pull from really easily. So let's write something that just quickly takes this label outlet that we have right here and changes it to match one of these indices based on a random number. So let's write something simple like label outlet.text equals, so we're just saying, hey, set this text to be equal to this, and we'll just do some string interpolation of new array, and then an array format, just to show you, is written like this. So we have if we say new array 1, that's going to equal the second place, right? Because we start at 0, so that's going to equal second here. So that'll be the same as second. All right, so that's just the format that we're writing this in. So new array of int dot random, and we'll say 0 dot 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 to 4, since we have 1 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we will close that and close that. So, I might have had a little syntax error. Oh, I forgot to put in, so there's in right there, so in colon 0 through 4. All right, so every time we hit this button, it's going to find a random number between 0 and 4 and check that index placement and display that array. So let's do it. And we're good to go. Every time we hit it, it's generating something new. Our label's not quite big enough right now to actually display that, but regardless, you get the point. The idea is that arrays can hold tons of data. We can add to arrays, we can append them, we can remove entries from arrays, we can count the number of entries in an array. This is just a really powerful tool in programming that you'll use all the time. So learn how to use arrays, and this is just one, semi-practical use of them.